Sure. I'll talk it out.
Yeah, let's just have a conversation.
Track 3.
Better not be fucking Dave Matthews Band.
Okay. Those of you who don't want to be a part of this can leave now.
Derek, please listen to me.
But if you choose to stay, which it seems like you guys are choosing,
Derek, please.
you understand and agree to the following terms and conditions.
Derek!
1.
Derek, this is the virus.
You hereby waive your right
Derek, please.
to your own personal bodily integrity.
This is not you.
2.
I'm a licensed...
Per the state versus Neville Reed, my colleague and I will not be held criminally liable for any felony or misdemeanor that you may be a victim of, including, but not limited to, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, disorderly conduct, destruction of property, mayhem, and first-degree murder. And 3, terms and conditions may change or be updated whenever the fuck I want! Consider yourselves notified.
All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but 2 things right now. Jack and shit. Jack left town. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
What was that ruckus? What ruckus? I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Describe the ruckus, sir.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore? I'm in my prime.
Hey, Mike. Ain't it cool?
First you want to kill me, now you want to kiss me. Blow. Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
No.
What's up, everyone? DJ Anubis
And DJ Neko.
here with you on the Military Radio Podcast with another movie review. This time we're doing 2024's Heretic, starring Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. Directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. And basically the synopsis is... two Mormon missionaries who attempt to convert a man, played by Hugh Grant, who is more dangerous than he seems. So before we get into our review, I think what we'll do is we'll go and just refresh people's memories and play the trailer from the movie.
Okay.
And give them a little bit better idea of what we're dealing with here, because it was a very interesting flick.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. Are you interested in learning about our Savior, Jesus Christ? Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, are you
My name is Sister Barnes, and
oh my gosh. Are you interested in learning more about the Church of Jesus Christ?
Come on in.
We can't come inside unless another woman is present.
My wife is home. Does that count?
Great.
You like pie?
Yeah.
My wife has pie in the oven.
I could tell that you are a very spiritually curious person.
I think it is good to be religious, to find your faith in a doctrine you actually believe.
Well, our work here is done.
Now, I will go and check on the pie.
So sleep, silent angel.
really crazy storm that just came out of nowhere.
Oh, did I get to mention the door's on a timer?
We just need to go home.
I won't keep you if you wish to leave. But I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
Everything.
I think that we're being studied.
It will make your hearts beat faster. It may even make you want to die. Do not be afraid. You will witness a miracle.
I think what I liked about that trailer is it didn't do what every trailer does now and like give you the twist.
Yeah, in fact, I was gonna say, like, when you look at the way that even when it comes up with the name, like it makes you believe there's like a puzzle to everything, but the puzzle is actually the story itself, not anything that's going on within the movie.
Well, the house itself is a puzzle.
A little bit.
He's designed his house to be, that was the model that they were showing. And his house is designed with all these rooms and labyrinths and interlocking areas. So, I mean, I guess we should get started.
Yeah, so basically these two girls, they're out just doing what missionaries do. They try to go to door to door, trying to see if they can convert people to the religion.
And we are going to have some spoilers. This has been out a while. We just caught it on HBO Max this week.
Yep, so yeah, Max, it's on there now. So.
And I have been wanting to see this for a while. It's just, life, things happen, and we finally saw that it was on there. I was like, let's watch this.
With a lot of movies that go right away to streaming, it's almost better sometimes just to wait and not, because you never know if you're going to pay for a good movie or not these days. So, but I was very interested as well. I did do a reaction to it a while back. So you have these two girls, they end up coming, it's like almost like a schedule. So they did actually have like an organization to their method. So they knew they were going to this particular house.
I guess he reached out to them.
Yeah.
Through email, and that's why they were going to him, because he expressed interest, that he wanted to talk about the Book of Mormon, about Jesus, about whatever.
Yeah, so they go there, and like they showed in the trailer, they can't go inside the house unless there's a female present. So of course, Hugh Grant's character, which is named Mr. Reed, he's telling them, well, my wife's in there, she's cooking some pies. And so they come in, they start talking. After a while, they start to get a little edgy because they haven't seen the wife, and yet that's something that they keep reiterating early on, is that, in order for us to be, I guess, safe, or
it's part of their rules in their religion.
God forbid they run into a crazy bitch, though.
Well, I mean, I believe, I don't know everything about Mormonism or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but I think if
Big
you're
love.
That's the extent I know. If you're an unmarried woman in the presence of a man, you need to have another female present.
But as they're sitting there, they realize that one of the candles that's burning is actually blueberry flavored. So what they were smelling, so they're like, oh, it smells so good. But it turns out it's just the candle. And so now starts unraveling where they have to go search for Mr. Reed. And then there's another room. And really, it comes down to a very interesting thing, because he starts explaining about how religions kind of copycat one another.
They borrow from each other.
And so he's kind of challenging them about how much they actually believe and why, which you saw again in the trailer. There's two doors, and one's for belief and disbelief. And it's the girls open up the doors at one point, just dark stairway going down. So like they are hesitant to even do it. He's like, yeah, if you go out this door, you can get out the back way of the house. He tells him the front door is on a timer and he doesn't open till dawn. So he's clearly got a motive here to get them go down those stairs.
He was very focused on presenting things in a way that the perfect example is the blueberry pie. He used the blueberry pie / blueberry candle to create an illusion, an image, to create belief.
Yep.
And he's using all these allegories to show that as he's talking about these other religions that are all very different religions,
but similar. Just like the song he was playing, which is an inspiration to Radiohead's Creep. So like he was just kind of laying it out, like everything that we know we've seen before through other means and methods. So it's like that's again that you put it pretty good with the candles. Like it made this illusion that there were pies being baked
by a woman that doesn't exist, and that's what he was trying to say. Like,
and he was trying to see how gullible they would be, and obviously they're figuring it out, but it's like a slow process. And so that's
like I'm showing you exactly what religion does to people by implanting beliefs that you blindly are following.
Yeah.
And he did pose that question, like, how do you know one religion is the true religion? And they're like, you feel it. And he's like, you feel it. So it's been he said he has found the one true religion and he will show them the one true religion.
Yeah.
And he is doing everything he can in every possible way to display that he has the capability of showing this one true religion.
So the girls eventually end up going down into the stairways and they get to a room down there, and then we realize both doors led to the same room. So again, more misdirection it was more him just kind of seeing how much they would give up on their faith if they thought that the disbelief door led to their freedom versus the other one. So one girl, the dark-haired girl, was basically like, no, we're going to stay true to the religion, while the other girl was ready to say disbelief because she really wanted to get the hell out of that house. But she ends up going down the same doors, the other girl, and of course, again, they go to the same room anyway, so it didn't matter which door they went down.
And it's another setup. Like, he's saying, regardless if you believe or disbelieve,
but this is
you're
where
going to get to the same.
This part of the story gets very, very interesting because he says he has a prophet that can come back from the dead. So it's this woman that's down there, very struggling, very hard, and he lays like a pie that looks like it's maggot filled or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but
I think it was a blueberry pie.
But it's kind of dark.
But
so
he put, what did he say he put in it?
Some sort of poison.
Yeah, it was really specific though. I can't remember the name of it.
But I think it's because like she'd been kind of starved, so she was so hungry she probably didn't even know. So she ends up dying in front of him. So he says, now I'm going to show you how this prophet will come back to life. And so as the girls are kind of like distracted with some other stuff that's going on in the room, they go back towards the steps trying to get out. Then they come back down, and one girl realizes that the body moved in some way. So she's like,
she's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, she's like, I think she's coming back to life. And sure enough, the person that's there starts coming back to life. And so Reed comes down and escorts her back out. And so thus he's like, now, what are your thoughts?
I said, what did she say to you?
Right. So the woman says something to like, nothing is real. And so that's what Reed is trying to figure out, like what their thoughts on what he has presented to them. Like, again, they were kind of right. He's studying them in a way. But it was really cool because eventually they start battling. Like there's just, terms of like pushing back against his belief. Like they're still not convinced, and they're going to find ways to prove that he was not what we thought we saw. and he ends up slitting the throat of the dark-haired girl, who collapses. And of course, the other girl's very terrified. Then he starts pulling out, which Neko and I were kind of laughing at, because he pulls out, which is a contraceptive implant on the dark-haired girl. Now, that just kind of references it earlier in the movie, where the two girls are on a bench talking about pornography, or whatever she said. Pornography, yeah. So he pulls out an implant, but he's trying to make it sound like she was a robot. Like,
that's what I found.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think that's a contraceptive implant. And he's like, now, as a Mormon, you're not supposed to have these.
Mm-hmm. So I'll play a little bit of the movie here, just a clip, just no sound, but as we're talking about it, you can kind of just get a gist of some of the stuff that's going on. Obviously, early on, they're trying to figure a way to get out, and then
he kept playing that song over and over and over, and that's when he was explaining like the differences of the differences and similarities of the religions, and explaining like how things are the same. And you can see how terrified these girls are. Like, I have to say, the acting, it's just really,
Grant was masterful.
The three of them are just together acting, having a conversation. It's not like you've got giant monsters that are coming out. And I forgot about this part. The landlord's game is what Monopoly
was based off of. It's basically a copy
of
that's what he was showing. Like, each game just borrows from the other one. Same with the the Holy Quran and the Bible and the Mormon Bible and stuff like that. So that's sort of his point, is that nothing is really like based out of true reality. But the girl, not this one here, but the other one, she kind of points out, I forget what she said, but she made a pretty good argument on behalf of religion when she was pushing back on it to Bob Ross. I love that one. Anyway, as they're down there, the other girl, we think she's pretty much dead, like, because she's bleeding not from just her throat, but from the arm wound that he cut open.
It was just so crazy. He was just like...
But then comes the really cool part, because I thought this was going to be like some sort of supernatural type thing when the girl came back. So the other girl's there, and she starts, and you see it the entire time. This is the acting that's doing it. It's like she's making you believe that she's just terrified and not thinking rationally because she just wants to get out of it. But she starts, when he starts grilling her more, she's like,
I think this is a magic trick.
Yeah, exactly. She says, this is a magic trick. And then she starts dissecting what's happening. And even though she doesn't have all the facts, she starts unraveling it. So she's like, no, I think you switched the bodies. And he's like, well, how's that possible? Because I'm up there and those are the only two doors in to get in here. She goes, but is it? So she ends up pushing away this table where the body was initially, and there's a trap door there. And obviously, this is a point where Reed's like, well, do you still have faith? Will you go down there? Again, it's more darkness and more craziness. So she decides, like, she wants answers, like, to what's going on. So she goes down there, of course, and she does see the other body of the original woman that was there to eat the pie. So they did indeed switch bodies. So now he locks her down there for a few moments, and she wanders further down the corridor, and turns out that there's these cages of women in there. And so he's been doing this for a while, challenging people with religion or whatever and doing his testing.
And he said at the beginning, he's a theology professor, and he's read every single one of these religious texts over and over again. So it's almost like he's so what's the word, pretentious, that he needs to prove to people of faith that he knows better. And he's going to show you exactly what religion really is.
Yeah, his ultimate goal here is that, he's the heretic. He's the one that's,
this is the one true religion.
He's like, everyone else is brainwashed, and he's going to show you why you're so gullible that you would fall for anything. So he had never had any intention of letting the girls go. I mean, regardless of what happened. So obviously he was going to try to keep her down there, and she manages to, stab him with like a, I forget what it was, a letter opener or something.
It was a letter opener or a razor blade or something.
So that buys her some time. So he wasn't expecting that. So obviously, I know we're giving spoilers, so we still highly recommend watching the film. But so she's getting away, and she's running back up the steps, but he's up there too. He manages to catch up with her in that big room that they're in, and I'm trying to remember what happened after that.
Well, that's when,
Oh, yeah. So he is on the verge of trying to kill her. And then,
yeah, he's the one who had like the box cutter. She had a letter opener that she took. Like,
so she did get him in the throat. So but he did stab her with the box opener in the abdomen a little bit, which this is going to lead to some other interesting things. In fact, I'll just say that, well, maybe we'll save it towards the end because we'll explain it then. But anyway, you think they're both fucked, and then he's about ready to kind of try to finish the job, and then the girl that was supposed to be dead comes back and like either hits him or something.
She picks up a board with nails on it and gets him right in the fucking head with it. Yeah, it's the only part that was a little too far fetched for me.
Yeah, I mean, she did get her throat
slit. She
slit.
really got her throat.
Probably shouldn't have been alive still, but because we have a moment after the girl gets out of the house, the one that got stabbed in the abdomen. So she's out there, she's wandering, trying to find help, obviously. Mm-hmm. And they did have a guy trying to look for him too at some point.
That was one of the they say sister so and so and brother so and so, and they all had like a sign-in sheet. So they knew where they were going. Like they had a list of where they were hitting. So the brother went to the house looking for them, but they were already locked in the basement. And this guy's house is like a fortress. He tells them, "My walls are lined with metal."
I think it was like a former church.
I wonder, I didn't even pay attention to the outside. So it might have been a former church, but like he says, "My doors are on a time lock. My walls are made of metal." And when they were like, "Oh, we have to go, we got a phone call," and he's like, "No, you didn't, because my walls are made of metal."
Yeah.
So this guy is ridiculous.
Crafty.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's out there and she's struggling a little bit. You never really kind of know what ends up happening to her in the very end, but she references a point early when they first meet Reed about Reed's like, "Well, what do you believe about the afterlife?" And she's like, "Well, I believe that when you pass away, you might come back and stay like a butterfly."
She said she would come back as a butterfly so that she could tell all of her friends and family that she's to show that she still loves them. And the blonde-haired girl is the one who said this. The dark-haired girl is the one who passes, and she gets, at the end, a butterfly lands on her finger, and she specifically referenced that. So it kind of gives you that opening of like, maybe there is some faith, maybe there are some signs. It kind of rides that line between like, because
I like it because
Reed was
he made some good points.
Making some good points.
He makes some legit arguments. I was like, wow, yeah, that's pretty creepy when you think about it. And then of course, the girl having the butterfly stuff. So that again settles their kind of argument too. So,
but the other girl, the one that with the dark hair, I keep forgetting both of their names.
Sister Barnes was the dark hair.
Okay, so Sister
Paxton was the other one.
Okay, so Sister Barnes, she was talking to Reed about her near-death experience. She's like, "I actually died and came back to life." Like that's why she was like, really, this is bullshit, because she's like, this is why we don't talk about Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, yeah.
She said she was in a listeria outbreak and ate contaminated Taco Bell meat. And she had a near-death experience. She died and was brought back. And she said, that's crap. It's your body shutting down. And what you're seeing isn't really the afterlife. It's your body shutting down. So I found that pretty interesting too, for her as a woman of faith who was like, No, because if she really died, she would tell me what was on the other side.
Yeah.
I didn't die. And that's what so she's just taking what she's heard. And
which was interesting because, again, you made a good point about Barnes, is that early in the film when they're talking on the bench, the other girl, Paxton, she's talking about some sort of porno that she had seen. And I forget what she was really referencing about. It's not that she was like big into pornography, but she was just pointing out something about, I guess they were making too much noise and the people next door were yelling at them. But Barnes,
it was like a homemade porn.
Yeah. So, but Barnes was like, you know, she had this look like she was kind of offended that she was talking about pornography. It's like, are you really into that kind of stuff? But then you find out that Barnes had like the contraceptive thing and her idea about death. So like, how much faith did she really have? Because she did choose the belief door. She was the one that's like, we need to go down this way. So it's really one of those conundrums about how complicated a character can be.
I also think too that Barnes, she had a lot happen in her past. Like they brought all of that up and sometimes people choose faith not so much that they're blind believers, but for comfort. Like that's how she made friends with Paxton. Maybe, everyone in her family is gone now, so she's trying to be part of a community. It may not necessarily be like she was drawn to this. It seems like Paxton, her family is, Seventh-day Adventist or whatever it was, Latter-day Saints. I forgot Mormons. Let's just say Mormons. And Paxton was more the one who was led more by the blind faith, where at Barnes, she seemed like the type of person who it's not so much blind faith. Maybe she was more wanted to be part of a community that she felt was good and doing good things.
So your overall thoughts of the movie and your rating, 10.
This is a little tough because I liked the movie, especially as a person who is, I don't like saying atheist anymore because I still do not believe in religion. I do not believe I believe what Reed said. I believe it's all bullshit, but I do believe nobody knows.
Yeah.
I believe nobody knows. And I believe that there have been some very, very few people who are prophets or mediums or whatever who have the slightest, peephole into the afterlife. And these people that I've read their books or seen documentaries on, the stuff that they say is nothing like what you read in the Bible. And that is more interesting to me than a bunch of religion with a bunch of rules. We forgot to mention the one true religion. Control.
Yeah.
That's his whole thing was that's what religion is. They just want to control. And look at how many problems we have. Just look at fucking Palestine, and it's insane. They're fighting over religion. And it turns into...
people get mad when I say a lot of the world's problems is based on a religious, because while I support everyone's right to individual faith,
it's those people of faith who are causing the problems with other people.
Right. So you have Christians that say, well, we have the true religion, and Islam says the same thing, and then Buddhism and Hinduism, they all have their own.
Buddhists are very, very chill, though. They're not.
Well, no. I'm just saying, but there's so many that anyone who's a Christian would call that a false god. They would call that a false god. So that's sort of what he was getting at, is that they all kind of borrow from one another, but they also are very destructive. And so control, it's all about control. But what was your rating?
It's a hard one for me because I don't know if I'd ever watch this again. I wanted to watch it and I watched it and it was good. it's not
mind-blowing. But it's good.
It's good. It's worth watching once, and then maybe like in 5 years I'll watch it again because it's that well done. I don't need to. It's not going to be like one of my little. It's not going to be like Barbie where I watch it all the time because I just get that, feel good dopamine. This is a little bit thought provoking, especially if you struggle with like with me. Like I really, religion just kind of turns me in a wrong way. Not that I hope people who are religious, I hope that it makes them happy. I hope it is something that you choose and you like. But for me, I just have seen so many people who are religious who talk the talk but don't walk the walk, and then judge you for just saying, well, I really don't believe in anything. However, that being said, my rating is probably going to be like a 7.5, because it's good. And the set is simple, the acting is phenomenal, and it's something that I really liked. But when I start thinking about stuff that I'm giving 10s, it's not going to be this. No. It's not going to be this. But
I gave it an 8. Like, I'm a little bit higher, but I gave it an 8. So it's a good film, needs to be watched. Great acting, great story. But it's not something that you're going to just want to watch like time and time again. It doesn't have a high rewatchability.
Not at all. It's not.
But you had it right. Like, if 5 years from now it's back on Tubi or something, I might check it out.
I will watch it again because I'll be like, it's just kind of like, I'm trying to think of another one that's like Schindler's List. You're not going to watch that over and over, but it's powerful, right? So that's, and again, I'm not saying Heretic is Schindler's List, but there is a strong message in Heretic. And it's, for me, I think people need to watch this and listen to it if you are, if you're a judgy religious person, because that's it's very interesting. This guy did the work. He laid it out.
Yeah, he tried his best. I mean, obviously he's
sinister.
His method starts to show flaws when you realize he is pulling magic tricks. So like his philosophy about the history of the stuff is very good. But the trickster part of it, where he's like swapping bodies and he's trying to convince these girls that they witnessed a miracle, when in reality it was just a magic trick, that's where his motives and everything fall through. But he liked the part. He liked that part of the cat and mouse thing going on.
So I forgot what he said. So like before he sliced Sister Barnes's throat, he was like, one of you is a prophet and one of you is not, and I can tell by the candle.
He said one was lying.
One is okay. And he's like, I can tell by the candle, like, and that's when he started going crazy and going off book, as we'll put it, and was saying that she was like a cyborg or some shit. And he was like, if you believe, I can slice her throat and she'll come. She's the one who's going to come back. And
he was like, yeah, she'll be coming back any moment now. Oh, wait, no, she won't. There's something wrong. And then that's when he tried to lay it out like she was not really.
And then he's
human.
like, oh, that's right. And he's like, oh. And for him to even like think she might have.
See, he was very observant. He saw the scar, but not really knowing what it was at the time. That's why he went immediately and cut that out. And that was once his plan of her coming back fell through. He's like, you need something else. So he was very quick on thinking about keeping his charade up or facade. And then obviously the other girl Paxton was very, very smart, and she was figuring stuff out that we didn't even know she was figuring out. So that was like really fun.
She was really observant. And, I think when she saw what was happening in that room with the other women, and he's like, no, they're happy. Look at them.
Yeah, he says they are where they want to be. Which isn't really true, but
I mean, like, maybe he's got them conditioned to think that, and that's his theory, or his
Well, he used it because he's like, just like with her, he's like, you're down here because you wanted to be down here. I didn't throw you down here. Everything that happened was just him guiding them. And again, that plays into his philosophy about brainwashing and control. It's like, you're only doing it because I'm challenging you. You want to be out of the house? Well, that's your way to get out of the house. Even though it's not, they could have easily just stayed upstairs and not done anything. The reality is they wanted to get out. All right. So coming up on the channel later tonight, I'll be on Olvin's channel for the Silver Screen Savants as we review the Three Musketeers from 1993. Through most of the week, I'll be doing some live streams of Diablo 4 Season 8 beta testing to see what they have in store for us for Season 8.
So how did you get to be part of that? Because you did another beta test for
anybody
season.
that's bought Diablo can be part of the beta.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. They're basically... We are the game testers without being paid. That's what we are.
He used to be a game tester, so he's got the experience.
And then on Wednesdays,
We
Ghouls at Midnight, we'll be doing 100 Tears, which is Tony's pick. I don't know anything about the film, but should be fun.
That's cool.
Friday, one thing we have is Into the Darkness with Kevin Lambert. We're doing the Basket Case franchise in that one.
Oh, you've been watching that.
And then Saturday for Silver Screen again, my pick will be 1985, 86. No, it'd be 88. Action Jackson with Carl Weathers. So,
ooh,
yeah, you might want to be a part of that.
Maybe. Is that Saturday?
Yep, Saturday night.
What time?
9. Usual.
Could be. I haven't seen that in a while.
But anyway, hit the like button, subscribe, and as always,
share our videos.
Have any comments about the movie? Have you seen it? Are you interested in it? Hopefully, it didn't spoil all too much for you, but we hope you do check it out.
If anybody wants to give us some comments on what you think about, again, the reason I said this movie spoke to me so much is because I'm not anti-religion, but I'm anti-religious for myself, and I
just mind your own business.
Yeah, and I'm never going to judge you. I honestly, I hope if you are religious and it makes you happy and
gives you comfort,
and you have a community, then I'm never going to judge you. But
my comfort is my cats. Anyway, thanks everyone for the support. We'll see you next time on the Metal Tavern Radio Podcast. Adios.